2 clients, 3 clients.
One client. Stop.
Silly churl, Billy churl, silly Billy, hilly churl. Ooh. When the sun's out, bathe in sunlight. But when the moon's out, bathe in moonlight.
Mana sih?
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening. Paimon didn't think the meeting... Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it. Well... It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just pour some tea? Paimon, what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here.
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky, I fear
Siapa
that
ini?
description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sense... consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friends to... The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesized will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
What?
At your future.
Then is there any way we can stop it?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything... so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
Bingung dia.
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality.
The voice. It's gone.
It's gone.
someone talking. Alright, coming! Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Mona.
Fine, just fine. Not all Fontanians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. You remember her, right? I'm in full support of her view.
That's right!
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has...
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the but I've never met her. And if she were still alive...
Whoa.
Their abilities alone are...
Well, it's not like Paimon...
Yes, she was quite cryptic.
Paimon.
But I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what, but perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now. Traveler,
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little...
I see. I feel that same sense of I guess you could consider me someone who has often... But even so, I still hope for and believe in miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but perhaps that's what En was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe... I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't...
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles. It was worth trying to comfort you, even if I suppose that...
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. Hey, Traveler. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Go to newsstand. Mana itu? Di atas?
Silly churl.
Oh,
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. Let Paimon see!
let Paimon
The
see.
underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess thus did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report. A blonde adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their... So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using... seriously? Well, fine.
Banyak
Those headlines
ngomong.
and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
Continue. Tuh. Kemana?
We're here! Paimon's hungry. Should we go in? Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition situation we were in. Let's give it another go. I'm sure it'll be great.
Excited banget ini.
One slice of cake, please. Someone showed up after all. Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalet.
Wait, did he really say?
That's right. Even he has a.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule.
Then what if someone told?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't.
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention. No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. That's what people call living, you know.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you.
Oh, you know Seachwing?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes. She said that I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right?
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. I'm sure this cake will be. It's more delicious than last time, and the flavor gets you. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious.
Under Prophets. Live Hotel.
Huh?
Oh, we're near the Seabird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
Ha! You've got some nerve.
Oh, you needn't worry about that. It's all right, though. I've said.
Really?
Really?
It's a little too easy to win over, Paimon.
Well, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you?
When Mona mentioned you,
I see. So she mentioned me?
she said that you're a real.
Nice.
Huh? So you're.
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live.
Yeah. Are we even?
Why not? Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief and me. Ooh, so much.
Wait, Charlotte. Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If.
Huh. That's the prophecy. If you're seriously asked, from what I've seen, most people don't know what they do. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. Just think about it. If this nation... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that... I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic. But I do love my job. But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to...
That's so nice.
That's so
All of
nice.
a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go? No, Paimon should ask if you... We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot. You mean, still traveling? Huh. Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. but it's still better than.
Ah, so the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermaid?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur... Not at all. Yes, inside...
A riot?
Well,
Right,
that
yep.
said, I don't personally think it... Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the
Isadora.
prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, the crowd continued to grow and...
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But
So what happened after that? Is Farina okay?
seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was... The Marechaussee Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized...
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's right. The Marechaussee has dispatched many people to search for her. But we don't have... That said, I don't think there's much to worry about.
I understand.
Good. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation, but he...
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on.
Is that so? Well, all right then. In that case, you two take care. I'll be heading back to the Palais now.
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have... When Nervillet was talking to her, it would be hard for her to ignore... Paimon thinks Farina... Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too. Cool, huh?
Ooh,
In that case, there's not a moment to live...
cepat dong. Banyak ngomong.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs
Vincenzo.
of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
Set, gede banget ikannya. Ini dia Farina. Dicariin.
That's Farina, right over there.
Should I just give up? This
Sedih
is
dia.
all. What was meant to happen did happen after all. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out.
Membunuh diri nih.
I'm sorry, but what can I even do? Other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over. Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina, it's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from an...
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they even dare to tout their Archon? I
So
must
cepat
have
nggak ini?
just- Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those...
Cepat,
Hey,
cepat.
there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are... They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line. That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Farina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with...
Ada apa
Should
ini?
be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here.
What?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way. No, I mean.
Yep, that's...
Waduh, kenapa nih?
What's happening? The ground's shaking.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be.
Well, there's no need to worry.
Yeah, but the people of Poisson. It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for... I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold
Iya,
back the
iya.
sea.
Cepet dong.
But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter... Give up. Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many... Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no
Kesan galau
heart and
mulu nih
obeys
orang.
no rules. But just now, it all became clear to me. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not... Don't worry. I will keep hope alive. Well, that's enough for now. I got the... And don't take any of what I...
Come on!
Share, that's impossible. It was fated. A witness. Yes, and if Tevat is...
Matanya beda warna. Beda. What? Jadi selama ini drama.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening
Lead
performance.
me.
Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of...
So, this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice, the embodiment...
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
Uh,
You would draw your blade against a god?
wah, nentangin.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow. How
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
Shh! It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding.
Looking for excuses again.
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. I will admit that I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my... You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. But now, I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice! This time, I will protect you.
applaud and rejoice. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of fun.
Woohoo!
Oh, now we're making history.
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak. Also, please allow me to ask, just how much work did you do?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson. So, we arranged for a second.
So, you mean the ones who scoured the settlement for...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather...
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the
permainannya
entire
Linné
gap
sama ini.
between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The help we had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion
Debatnya nggak
duelist would be
selesai-selesai dari
immediately
awal.
ready for a fight. Also that as soon...
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage.
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
You'd make sure.
Oh?
We hope that you share your secret with us.
It's fine. It matters not. What's done, the stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Oh, let Paimon see. Wait. So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the
Apa
very
nih?
first duels you took part in at the Opera House.
Exclusive
That's
handbook.
one for the... This is the first... A Fatui Harbinger. She's an the fortress. According to Monsieur Neuvillette, I nearly lost my The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting...
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Neuvillette. There's no need to just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that right?
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could...
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be...
Yeah, I've never questioned her.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no... See? Even the oratories have... If you wish to drop the case,
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? You have to not only refute Farina's...
Well, I tried to give you the chance to... And if I was not the Archon...
Archon. Why can Farina live so long?
That doesn't sound right.
Siapa? Astaga. Masa Line? T. Sa suara si Tahini?
That
Bukan.
doesn't sound right. Paimon doesn't think...
Ini.
First of all, you may be a member of...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the name?
A curse. I once thought it, but in light of this claim...
Neuvillette sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
Well, don't start celebrating. Besides, for centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
Cuma dua itu pilihannya.
That doesn't sound right. Paimon doesn't... You tried to reference the Oratrice, but what...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time?
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your... While the court is in... You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty instead of having been created.
The real Hydro Archon.
Real.
Now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. You can't argue that just because
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that
my power as an Archon.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to...
You don't need to go.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide...
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power?
Bangat deh, debat niya.
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone! Please don't... I'm still the same Farina you knew, right, please? You've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is? If you have no evidence of another Hydro...
Wow, she came up with yet another argument.
What evidence can prove that Farina is human? Isa pa yung bisa? Masa na Pia?
That doesn't sound right. It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the... Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson, including those of some... So, Miss Farina, if we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, I do hope you'll act prudently.
Navia from the
Guys, lama banget deh.
Lady Farina.
Well, of course he had to tell her that.
She's just staring at...
What's going on?
Mari kita
Due to
lihat.
the inherent risk...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like...
Miss Siegewin? If you're present, Miss Siegewin, please come forward.
Siegewin?
Siegewin?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a... That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to...
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation. She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater.
Udah, dia
The
ini.
extent to which she was affected.
Thank you, Miss Siegwin. Lady Farina.
Oh, wait. What did she just say?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, however, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a we don't want anyone else.
Yeah, so out of regard for it's a great thing that the direct...
I can't... Listen to me! Listen to me, everyone! Think about it! How can you conclusively prove that an Archon also... Oh. Please, everyone!
Gak ada yang percaya.
Anyone, just listen to me! I swear, I really am your Archon!
My God. Kasian sih.
I don't think anything she says at the...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway her. She's too stacked against her now.
Apakah yang terjadi? Boom.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty.
Farina is... My God. Guilty.
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct?
However, to be punished...
The deaths?
That's actually one of the available sentences?
The one and only time the death sentence has...
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the dream to show her the...
This outcome is indeed quite strange. Is this sentence really appropriate for...
Yeah! Even Vache wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, but now the...
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your...
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns...
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for...
I looked everywhere, but has the trial already concluded? Then...
Hampir 1 jam ini ngomong terus.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already... so when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can... However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the...
Akhirnya. You can find skin. When you have finished, purify all the stone.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, the second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the third slate shows the Hydro Archon? See? Well, the fourth slate is the we didn't believe that such a
Jadi so Hydro Archon. Tunggu. It seems to show the former Hydro Archon using divine power. Siapakah? Masa dia?
We know from the first stone slate this might be the...
Celestia floating in the sky. And the Hydro Archon are people who swim together. Ini yang tahu. Si ini. My God, siapa dong?
Perhaps what is about the true sin and the
It showed the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea.
It's not as when the...
It's you, sin that basically antara ini.
The prophecy, the fortress, if we had...
Nice.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come. The stone slate's content can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truth should come to...
Complete.
Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now! So that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly...
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
We're...
All Fontanian, the evidence for that... Oh, and according to Nav...
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first that could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be.
The Hydro Archon's true.
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the...
Yeah, isn't the imp? So wouldn't it be trying to show the imp? In the end, the people. Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, however, while you were able to decode all the information when we were at the ruins, now that the slate collection is complete, I believe I should share this truth not only with you. Your hypotheses regarding in the Fontaine of Old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiar. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced.
This really might be too much information for your regular fun.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all they have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though, in truth, everything we've done has happened
What should we do?
I don't know.
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate, however, as for the root cause of the catastrophe...
Baiklah, apalagi nih?
This eruption was just a small warning of the things...
Siapa? Cepat dong.
It was both dream.
If we're talking about a true cult...
The truth, the
Set lama banget. Wow. Hello, I want to pull for Hutao. Should I go for J1 or Persigat? Go to signature weapon. Ah, jatuh dia.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not... It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea. And once it has finished consuming...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created
Precisely. That whale finds... Therefore, when it left the primordial sea...
We just...
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for... From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but anyway, now that...
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the even if the entirety of...
That's not something I will... We've already done everything we've come so...
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be... Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, ultimately...
Lama banget. Sudah 1 jam berlalu. 1 jam.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
Set. Oh, berubah dia. Wujudnya yang asli.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
Oh, bukan Farina.
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt...
Fusolo, why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. The heavenly
Deceiving the...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. She knew full well that, and as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the... So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over. Alone on the ocean floor, I had to outwit... I'm a genius, I know. Although, looking back now, it was... But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I...
So you were also once one of the...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive. The me you see before you now. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Her strengths were of a kind only, but in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. Do you still remember the final scene of the in order that the prophecy under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she. Instead, I suppose now you probably understand.
But Farina is only... Even though she has had a long... I cannot begin.
It has indeed. It's been 5, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful...
Wait, could this be Farina? Inner world. Baiklah. Pencet.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, all right, it is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just... Oh, do not jest. Can you not? I am Focalor, the eyes of countless
Sekarang apa ini?
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty,
Audience?
but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Crumble! This is order.
Ha! Teamwork is strength! Out of the frying pan, into the fire! Hey! Higher, higher, hands on fire! Ha! Ja! Za! Za!
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know.
Malah tampil kita.
Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
It's
Going in!
Gather!
Scene 1. Before a mirror. Eureka. Oh, kita pakai Furina.
Farina. Farina.
Furina.
Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How can...
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad.
Mirror me?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will all be dissolved into...
Oh.
What's going... But...
I will tell you.
Oh, as for... But if there were...
I suppose this would also...
Huh?
Don't worry. It's nothing.
Play as...
That's right. If you can keep it...
But...
Don't worry. What you must... Being a human yourself, remember...
I'm still not sure. So, how long am I going to have to play this?
To accomplish this mission, you will have but... I promise you...
A trial, huh? The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession. But what should I say to most... Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the opera. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all. As the god Focalor, the god of... Best follow this my dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not.
Lady Farina.
Indeed, my dear loyal citizen.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant...
1218.
Farina, although I don't know what you might be...
Panjang banget ini.
Share that's impossible. It was...
But even if your burden doesn't need to just share it with me...
A witness. And if to that... He's right. But if things... No, Farina. But what if, Farina, is it such if you let this opera think about it? Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness...
Fine.
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth?
Yes, She did very well. If she had it seems that trusting humanity was the right.
I believe that. How would you build on that?
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the. I'm sure you've long.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a. It now seems that.
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would. Alas, you're under. In truth, it is no. Oh, you haven't. I mean, my work over these but really, the vast majority had to be.
It was all.
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontaine, but only.
So the oratrices call for death. The destruction of the
selesai.
divine throne.
Returning what's right. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Arc. No, what? The authority of the.
All you've done.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And the heavenly prince. Speaking of justice, I have always believed that if the theft of the primordial sea, then leaving in other words, defying the at this point, Iudex Neuvillette.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that at last. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but
apakah sudah berakhir?
I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Jadi ini ada 2 sisi gitu. Apakah sudah selesai? Menyesal dia harusnya.
I, Iudex Neuvillette, hereby declare People of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Wow.
Was that bright light some
But...
It's time to end this. I have gained the strength. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratory's the root of the calamities befall, come with me, Traveler. The hour of execution has come.
Wow. Apakah ini akan di end Fontaine? Sampai mana tadi?
Yes, we can find a way to attack it from within. We shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you.
Buset. Gimana caranya?
Stabilize.
I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Apa harus naik ya? Destroy the eye. Oh, gini.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. It will present itself.
Wow. Gede banget dia. Wih. 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 Asik sih lagunya.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment. Use my power to suppress its root from the root.
Wow. Mana sih musuhnya?
Stabilize.
Going in.
Merinding bor.
Solidify.
Everybody stand back!
Oh my god.
Quake.
Off we go!
Gather.
Nice and spicy. You're toast.
Order guide.
Jangan mati, jangan mati.
Let's light it up! Teamwork is...
Kenapa nggak dari tadi kamu? Oh, jadi ini dalangnya.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It was just supposed to be a short
Bukan.
private training session for me. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would.
That power.
Siapakah dia?
Paimon has an idea. It's just that he is the...
I simply did not. So you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. That kind of power, all in all. The point.
Well, being... So what sort of person...
Oh, right. His name is Sertologi.
I am
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous.
the foul.
Still nothing.
Ooh, that one we've...
Oh, but I suppose you understand now.
Wait, didn't you...
Actually, never mind that they all devout such roiling as such. In other words,
What?
Not to worry.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters.
Sudah, gitu doang.
And only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne.
Ah, tenggelam fontainnya.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Gitu doang. Aduh.
Hey! Help! Over here!
Well, set.
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry! Hey, lend a hand!
water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve.
Sudah surut.
The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Oh, she's wrong. Furina, apakah kau? Oh iya. Ah, telat banget. Harusnya aku bisa dapetin Furina dulu.
We're saved. The prophecy was
Prophecy.
The soil renewed. The Sphina Rasula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Sphina Old Soil Skyship Wing. The various dispute people always call. Wow, Paimon barely recognizes the people in the report.
What do you think?
Akhirnya
Pretty
selesai
enthralling,
juga.
The Steambird's idea was the value for these big scoops. Edwin's assistant, Jurier,
Paimon's curing.
and that's exact.
Are you?
Oh, this time we'll be.
Wah, panjang juga ya. Finalnya besok aja. Kita end dulu. Stream. See you